If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joey Barrett. It is now time for us to harvest the garlic in which we planted last October. Now, a key sign of this is about 3 weeks ago we harvested the scapes. Purposely left this scape on to show what will happen if you do not harvest your scapes. This is hardneck garlic. Softneck garlic doesn't produce a scape. But what will happen is we'll dig this out. We won't detach this. This will continue to grow another foot or so and then open up and seeds will form from the energy that the bulb has stored up, even though it's not in the ground. We'll set this in the radio studio and it will just do its thing over the course of the next 4 weeks. Very unique and interesting way the plant takes care of itself even when it's not in the ground. The energy produces the seeds. Another indication to know when your garlic is ready to harvest is by the sign that the number of lower leaves changing colors. We've got, this one is already dead, so yes, that's a good sign. This here is starting to change color and dying back. That's a sign the more this is dead, the more it can be ready to harvest. You do not just want to leave your garlic in the ground all summer long and harvest it as is needed, because what can occur is insects can eat your garlic bulbs, as well as moisture and rain and everything else. It can also cause your bulbs to rot and also begin to sprout again. So we're going to start harvesting this. It's best to use a hard tine fork, not a hay fork, a hard tine fork. You can use a shovel, it's not a big deal. It just works better to make the soil fall through. So we're just going to dig next to this. Nice big bulb of garlic there. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind is, we'll talk about curing in a minute, but we plant this garlic year after year. We don't go and buy new garlic unless we want to try a new variety. We've grown Spanish Roja, Purple Glazer, Georgia Crystal, and other varieties. There are about 6 varieties, and we just continue to save the largest bulbs that will potentially contain the largest cloves, plant those large cloves in the fall with the hopes and the potential of getting large bulbs like this in the spring. So let's see what we got here. This one's, we'll start here. And you can see the fork just kind of allows the soil to lift up. We don't want to just sit there and yank on this to try to pull, because parts of it fall off, and we need this here to help cure. So that's another good size bulb of garlic there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and harvest all of this garlic, and then we'll come back, show you what we've got, and then the next step, which is the curing process. So you want to wait until the lower 2 sets of leaves have died back. Some of these, I mean, that one's pretty decent. Both of those are dead or just about there. That one's pretty good. Some of these are more green than others. Like this here, you got 1 set of leaves here. This one's that. So it's kind of a, you just kind of guess. But it's about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks after you harvest the scape. And you're harvesting that scape in order to put that energy in the bulb, so we don't have the vertical growth. We have as much bulb development as possible. So the harvest is going good. Got a few more to dig out, and then big garlic this year we've gotten. So as I'm harvesting 3 of them together, don't know how that happened, but you can see when they grow together how their size is very different. It really hurts the size of 2 of them here. This one's not the worst. That one, not very good at all. That one's acceptable, but they were all grown together. So again, you want to, it's a good sign of spacing them. And then also you don't want to just plant the bulb or leave them in the ground and let them grow back next year, because they continue to get smaller and smaller. It had 34 heads of garlic, some not as big as others, as I showed you with the combination of multiple cloves growing together. I don't know if that was a planting error or what happened on that deal, or if somehow they split, I don't know. But most of them are very large garlic heads. Like this one here was another one that grew together. Don't know why that occurred. But again, we're going to let these cure. Now these are very large garlic heads. Let's talk about the one that had the scape on it. You can see that that bulb is not as big as the rest of them. Could be a couple factors, but some of it had to do with the energy that was used in order to grow the vertical scape that's going to put the flower on when we leave it alone. So how do we cure these to get the longevity out of them, about 6 to 8 months? Here's what we can do. One, we can go ahead and cut and use these right away. Nothing wrong with it. You don't have to let them cure. But if you take, we found it to work this way, but you can take 5 or 6 of these, bundle them together, tie them up, hang them from a indirect sunlight area, either of a porch, open carport, barn type of thing, for about 3 to 4 weeks. These will drain the juices into the bulb to add a little more flavor. When these all turn brown and dead and crispy, then you can take and cut the bulb off, trim back the roots, and then store in a cool, dry place for about 6 to 8 months. Now, if you don't want to hang them up, you can certainly do what we are going to do, is we take and put them in a tray here, a Rubbermaid container, something like that, just so they're not piled directly on each other. And we'll set this in a cool, in the garage, in a shed, porch, patio, something where it's not going to get moisture, but it will allow it to dry. And if you're going to do it in a room in the house, have the windows open, because unless you really like a garlic flavor. And based on the climatorial conditions, this may take a little longer, but after that, good to go. So if you've never grown garlic, now's the opportunity that you want to look at places in order to buy good heirloom garlic, whether from your organic grocery store, from an online provider, someone kind of in your same geographical region, meaning you don't want to try to buy a garlic that you're going to grow from Arizona if you live in Maine. You want something kind of in your growing area. So thanks for watching. Join me again next time for more organic gardening. I'm Joy Baird, and this has been the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.